What is going on? I am on a bumpy road today. Apologies. Hopefully I won't have to fix it too much in post. Bit of shake. I am wearing my Vixa Type 20. Just took this watch in. I'm going to do a full review of it. Adore it. Been hunting it for years. It's basically the Hanhart 417 ES from the mid-50s. It's got every bit. It was made by Hanhart for France as war reparations. And it's basically the Steve McQueen. It's the Steve McQueen watch, the 417 ES. They only made 500 of those in steel, and they made a bunch, unknown number, in chrome-plated bronze. The Vixa Type 20s made by Hanhart, says Vixa on the dial, but all of them are stainless steel, and they made about 5,000 of them, near as we can tell. And it's basically 98% of the watch. The only thing it's missing is Hanhart on the dial, which is a tremendous thing to be missing, I will admit. However, it's Hanhart inside. Everything else aesthetically is the same watch. And this was military issued, so it's got provenance. And since it was an aviation tool, it had to be checked out and regulated and serviced. I don't know what the service schedule was. Maybe it was every year, every 2 years. But it's got all of these stamps on the back of the case whenever the watchmaker serviced it, which is super cool. So for me, that makes up for the absence of the name Hanhart. Love that brand. So what are we getting into today? I want to talk a little bit about buying strategy, negotiating strategy, and it's more around the lines of rapport building. I'm in America, and it can be easy to get trapped into thinking that the entire world speaks English. There are a bunch of countries that don't speak the same language as you or me, and that's obvious and perhaps a bit silly to mention, but if you're buying on eBay, particularly eBay non-native websites from overseas or Chrono24, you're going to have sellers all over the place. So what I like to do is, if I see a seller that's in one of the countries I will buy from, there are some countries I will not buy from. But if that's your country, I don't want to dish your country. I've had problems in certain countries, not just one problem after problem. So, but this one popped out of Italy, which I find very strange. This is most Vixas that are for sale in the open market are coming out of Italy. It doesn't make any sense. You would figure, clearly these will get sold in France. 1 or 2 will come out of the UK, but 9 times out of 10, they're coming out of Italy. So, Italian seller. What I did is Google Translate, and I keep my sentence structure simple because we tend to use a lot of contractions and so forth. So I kept my sentence structure simple, ran it through Google Translate, and I write to the seller in their native language, and then I also copy the English right after it, so that whenever I have a record of the transaction, I can know exactly what I was saying. And sometimes they'll write back to me in their native language. Sometimes they'll translate into English, or maybe they're English speaking. But no matter what the case, I know they appreciate the effort. I know it. I can tell immediately that they just politely received my effort to not assume they spoke my language. And that speaks to rapport building. And good rapport building in any sale is the key to a happy transaction, I feel. Building the rapport, whether you're on the buying side or the selling side, whatever you can do to rapport build is going to be to your advantage. And yes, I negotiated and got some money off of this. And I'm not saying it's because it was the language thing, but I'm sure that it was received well, and I wasn't thinking of myself, I was thinking of them. And so I recommend doing that. G-Money recommends going through the translator twice. So English to Italian, and then plug Italian back in to get English to make sure that Google Translate is doing its job. I've not done that as of yet. I probably should. Maybe I'll try that next time and see what comes of that. But related to this, if you're someone, I generally don't like open auctions because I don't want to have to wait for 5, 6, 9 days for it to close. I want to hit up the seller, negotiate my price, and just close the deal. So, but if you're someone who's into the auction set, and if you get bummed out when you don't win an auction, and maybe you lose the auction by, I don't know, let's say a piddly poo amount, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Because you can take that auction result and use it as a lever with your negotiation to someone else listing one that's not on open auction. Example, let's say you're looking at a watch, it's a good example, and the buy it now price, $2,000. And you're in an open auction situation, and it closes at $1,200, and it was a super good deal at $1,200. Well, all you have to do, go ahead, miss, is approach that seller that's got the one for 2 G's and hit him up. I'm gonna pull over for this because the sun is just coming in and out of the lens flare. I can take off my sunglasses, we can get a little closer. No, I look cool in my glasses, I'm gonna leave them on. At least I think I do. You hit up the seller and say, hello, my name is so-and-so. My name is D. No, you be you, I be me. I noticed you got a really great watch on offer here. As it happens, one just sold an open auction for $1,200. You know, and then you could say, are you open to receiving any offers? If even if he has or she has make an offer, never make the offer through the system. Number one, you're bound to it. And what if you change your mind? Number two, you want to get that rapport building ahead of giving an offer, especially if it's going to be a little bit less than what they're asking. I don't advocate for lowballing. It's insulting. It's a waste of both people's time. No one's going to take a lowball offer, and you don't need to start your negotiation that way in order to get a discount. You don't need to. It just sets things off on the wrong foot. That could be your first volley, or you can just roll right into it. Hey, I see you got this watch on offer for $2,000. One just sold an open auction for $1,200. Here's the key line. I can tell that your watch is in better condition than that one. You say that ahead of time because that's going to be their first rebuttal in the pricing negotiation is, oh, it's not comparable, mine's better. So you take that out of their hands by saying it first. I realize your watch is in better condition, and I don't mind paying a premium over market for a better watch. That all said, I feel your watch in its condition is worth $1,400. So I mean, you come up like 10%, a little better than 10%. I'd like to make you that offer. It's a sincere one. And if you accept my offer, I will pay you immediately. I will get you paid today. And if he comes back with, oh, why don't you just submit the offer? All you have to say is, I didn't just want to throw a number at you. I wanted to introduce myself, let you know I'm sincere about your watch, and I will absolutely pay you today if you accept my offer of $1,400. Now, if he cares about the market relative to what he's selling, he may come back at 18. No, that's not enough, buddy. The market is clearly saying this watch is worth $1,200. I'm paying you $200 over what the market says it is. And some sellers will tune into that, others will not. I tend to stick to my numbers because my numbers are based on what I've got into the piece, not necessarily the market, even though it's relative. I don't pay market price for stuff. I always negotiate downwards. You always make your money on a watch sale when you buy, not when you sell. So that's my advice. I've used this strategy a bunch of times. It's worked a bunch of times. It's failed a bunch of times. But as long as you're polite, there's no harm in asking for a significant discount. I'm not saying a lowball offer. I'm saying a significant discount that you can back up with comparables in the market at the time of the transaction. Now, there's a lot of currency fluctuation. So if you're looking to buy from a seller who is overseas, typically the pound is higher than the dollar and the euro. But once that gap closes, there's a short window for you to act and buy before everyone listing their sales adjusts for the currency fluctuations. Most dealers are on top of that. That's why you see a lot of fluctuation from dealers who are selling in non-US currencies. But onesie-twosie sellers, they may not be tuned into currency fluctuation, may not have impacted them yet. So if you see a big swing in currency conversion, that could be a time to strike in a sale, making an offer in that, usually ebay.uk.co.uk is where I've used that to my advantage in negotiating strategy. And maybe you can use that too. So this has been a little bit of helpful buying strategy. And I'm out and about today getting ready to shoot this watch, the Vixa on the Haveston straps. Alex, so excited to have you along for the ride. I'll probably be shooting the episode showing the Vixa with all the Haveston straps and the giveaway we're planning. So excited to do it, brother. Thank you for coming along for the ride. And thank you for coming along for this hobby of ours. Hope you have a great day. Peace.